you're an INFJ, you've probably noticed this. People react to you in powerful, sometimes confusing ways. You've probably had those moments where someone seems completely drawn in. They might even seem to admire you. And then out of nowhere, they pull back or they vanish, like something spooked them. Here are 8 reasons why INFJs often have this strangely intense effect on other people. Number 1, INFJs create a mirror effect. INFJs, they don't just talk, they reflect. Because of our dominant introverted intuition paired with extroverted feeling, we intuitively pick up on other people's patterns, feelings, and inner contradictions, and we reflect them back. In other words, we act kind of like a mirror, but not just any mirror, a truth mirror. People see their hopes and their potential when they talk to us, but they also see things that they've been running from, or even things that they've been doing wrong morally in their lives. And when these people talk to us INFJs, they feel known, maybe on a level that they never have before. And that can be intoxicating. Or for people who want to stay stuck in the matrix, it can often be unbearable. INFJs naturally show people that they just might not be living their most authentic lives. We'll talk about that more in a second. But that realization alone can really freak some people out. One thing about being around an INFJ is that it requires honesty and emotional courage. And sadly, not everyone has that. And that leads me to number 2. INFJs see potential and people feel that. INFJs have a very clear superpower, that of vision. We often see who someone could become long before they achieve it or get there. And we can talk to their future self, not just who they are today. Us INFJs, we truly believe in people and in their power to fulfill their potential. And that kind of caring about other people, it's rare, let me tell you. And when someone is lost or down and out, this feels life-saving. It's like a lighthouse in a storm. They feel hopeful, they feel inspired, they even feel sort of invincible around us. But here's the trap. When someone starts relying on our vision more than their own vision, they can get emotionally dependent on us. And emotional dependency eventually breeds resentment. They feel like we know too much about them, or they feel like they're behind what they should be. So they actually get mad at us for helping them improve, and they often disappear altogether. And that's one of the main reasons that INFJs are first admired and then ghosted. Number 3, our INFJ presence is unmatched. It may be hard for us INFJs to believe, but we often carry a calm, centered presence. And people often tend to think our lives are perfect. Crazy, right? And that can intimidate people, and then they try to disrupt our lives by being mean to us or even abusing us. Hey, I'm just telling it like it is. As INFJs, we also absorb the energy of a room. And somehow by doing that, we seem to calm the room. We ground the room. We bring peace to the room. And the truth is, any room will be better and healthier just by having an INFJ in it. But bringing that calm presence to everyone around us, it wears us out big time in so many ways. For one thing, hurt people often unload their pain onto us. And at first, it feels safe for them to do this. But eventually, they sense that they've shared too much with us. They feel exposed. They feel embarrassed. They feel vulnerable. And since we never demanded anything in return, these people disappear instead of reciprocating. And that's probably because they literally know that they can't help us in even a remotely similar way to the way we helped them. And this is how INFJs end up drained and even confused. If you've been feeling emotionally drained or constantly misunderstood, I wrote INFJ Unlocked as a quiet refuge for INFJs just like you to feel seen, understood, and supported. From the very first page, you'll start to understand your INFJ life and how to stay grounded in a world that so often doesn't understand you. The link is in the description. Number 4, INFJs are masters of unspoken communication. The truth is, INFJs are usually 5 steps ahead in any conversation. We notice micro expressions, body language shifts, and we also notice word choice inconsistencies. We actually feel what people mean when they say something. We don't just listen to what they say. And we often respond to those unspoken messages and we don't even realize we're doing it. And to others, this can actually feel kind of like magic. They'll say things like, "How did you know that?" And any INFJ knows that they have this ability. Yep, we pretty much know what it's like to be a wizard. But wizards, they pretty much always end up alone, don't they? And I think that's because they just know too much and they can't relate fully to others. Anyway, this knowing that comes so naturally to us really freaks other people out. Number 5, INFJs see through self-deception. When someone tells us a story about who they are, or someone tells us why they can't change, we as INFJs encourage them anyway if we feel that they have abilities that they aren't using to the fullest. As we were talking about earlier, INFJs really are the ultimate coach. And that's because we see through self-deception and we see through the stories or narratives that people tell themselves. Now, don't get me wrong, we understand that the world isn't fair and that there are political games and nepotism going on all the time. But we also see that people have talents and abilities that they could maximize if they wanted to. And INFJs, we are constantly helping others achieve a higher level. But sadly, some people, they don't want to move out of the status quo, out of the herd. And these people, the ones who don't want to even discuss change or new ways to do things, they are going to turn on us. Number 6, INFJs don't chase. Here's something that really confuses people. INFJs, they care so deeply, but we don't chase. Once we sense that someone's pulling away or being dishonest, we give them up to their own devices, quietly, subtly, and most of the time, for good. And to someone who's used to drama, attention, or control, this is maddening because they expected a reaction, they expected a breakdown, they expected a fight. Instead, the INFJ goes silent. And that silence or that disappearance, it's louder than any argument. It really forces these people to sit with themselves, and many, they don't want to do that. So these people may push back harder with abuse or with anger, or they go away as well. And that's okay, because there's only a certain type of person that an INFJ will mesh with anyway. And closed-minded people, they ain't it. Number 7, people project their insecurities onto INFJs. INFJs often become emotional screens for projection, just like the movies. Because we're calm and intuitive, people assume we're invincible, and often they will try to push our buttons. They pour their insecurities onto us, or they assume we're judging them when we're not. And they tend to think we're perfect, or secretly manipulative, or too good to be true. And I want all of you INFJs out there to know something. These projections by other people, they have nothing to do with you, but they do shape how other people treat us. And sadly, INFJs often end up absorbing guilt or blame that isn't theirs to carry. And that can be exhausting. So if you get one thing out of this video, let it be the removal of this guilt projected onto you from other people. Number 8, INFJs set energetic boundaries. Every INFJ over 20 knows. After enough energy draining, ghosting, or emotional dumping, we have to set a boundary. Either out loud or silently, we have to, or die. So that means we have to close the door on relationships that are super toxic. Not in anger, not in bitterness, but in deep, peaceful self-protection. And this is the infamous INFJ door slam. And it can be either a gentle closing of the door behind us, or it can be a major slam. But the end result is the same. It's not rage, it's release. Because we just gave too much for too long, and now we're done. And for these people that get door slammed, the people used to getting unlimited emotional access to us, this feels like we left them in the lurch. Well, you should have thought of that before you mistreated us. But putting boundaries up and staying away from toxic people, that's not leaving someone too soon. It's healing. It's saving your sanity from abusers. It's true, being around an INFJ is addictive. We care like nobody else on the face of the earth. Our presence is healing, but it's also revealing, and not everyone's ready for what an INFJ brings to the table. So if people pull away from you, if they pull away from your depth or they mistreat you, do not blame yourself. You were never too much. You were just a reflection that these people couldn't handle. You were actually a sign of their better self that they just weren't willing to reach out for. It's physics. Mirrors aren't responsible for what people see. So INFJs are both magnetic and intimidating? Pretty much. And if you'd like to know more about how that's possible, watch this video next.